Hey guys, it's Luke here with New Age Thought, and I'm making this video today because um I've been seeing everything that's been going on with Andrew Tate, his arrest, the charges that have come up, and I felt compelled to speak on it. Um, you know, I'm sure a lot of people are looking at the situation, and regardless of what you think of Andrew Tate, I think if someone were to say to you, "Hey, I think these charges are bullshit," I think a lot of people would just react like, "What do you mean bullshit? Why would somebody? How can they be bullshit? Why would they be bullshit?" And I think those people don't understand. To say it politely, I'm not going after anybody, but I think with what that comes from a lack of understanding about how the world works. And it's funny. Anybody who's watched Andrew Tate has probably seen a video where he talks about kind of the three ways that if you are, let's say, going against, let's call it the traditional power structure, or um, consolidated organized power, that you tend to be silenced, right? It's like, first they will ban you, silence you, right? um, Andrew Tate got banned off social media. Then they will try to imprison you or bring lawsuits against you, uh, basically try to paralyze you with legality, and just, fuck up your bank accounts, fuck up your ability to travel, just basically paralyze you with the courts and the legal process. And if that still doesn't work, and you're still having the undesired effect on a populace or a group of the way they're thinking, then they will finally kill you. And I know that may sound shocking, but if we look at other examples, right? People might say, "Well, Luke, why are you saying this? Like, what's your where's your proof?" Take the case of Princess Diana, right? She was right up there in the, I think the organized sort of traditional power structure, right? Like the royalty, the royal family of England has done things a certain way for a certain amount of time. You don't stay the king and the queen of England, or in that power role, without, fighting for it. That's just how it works, right? So, I'm not saying the queen is going around fucking murdering people herself, but she's passed now, but let me put it this way: its power is similar to energy, that it never fully dissipates. It kind of moves from one place to the other. And so for a royal family to stay in power for that long, you have to be kind of cutthroat. And so Diana's right in the middle of that. They're doing things a certain way and have a reason of doing that, because that's how they maintain control and power. um, Diana had she didn't have the ability to curtail her heart. She had a very large heart. I think she really connected to people who were outside of the royal family. And I think because she kind of married in, although she still came from a wealthy background, I don't think, I mean, similar to kind of, who's the new girl, Meghan Markle, in a way, like, she didn't feel like this kind of like heavy responsibility. She was told what her responsibility was, but because she kind of married into things and then saw how it actually worked, and how miserable everybody was, and how fucking horrible it was, and it's not, people, it's not like a loving family. You're basically marrying into like a business, an organization. I think she really started to suffer, and as a result, she started speaking out. So what did they do? They kind of, all of a sudden, she was kind of isolated among her staff. They would kind of listen in on her phone calls, allegedly, right? But all of this, I mean, something must have been going on, because she felt the necessity to make tapes, right? With the BBC, she recorded herself, kind of. She taped herself talking about, how she feels about the royal family. She didn't necessarily say that she was uh, that she felt threatened, but she definitely was making it clear that, like, hey, like, there's a lot of people who don't like me right now, and they want me to shut up, but I'm not going to shut up. So that happens. They can't really um, imprison Diana because she's a princess, and she was kind of in line to be queen at some day. So I think, you know, she wasn't just like some average Joe who they can just throw a bunch of court cases at, or if the other thing is, like, if there has to be some, even if it's bullshit, like, with, let's just say, innocent until proven guilty, right? So Tate's charges, like, there's always like an element of truth, or like some, not truth, but like they'll blow stuff that really isn't like a real charge, and through corruption they'll make it into a real charge, but you can't just totally come up with nothing. I mean, sometimes that does happen, but usually there's, like, they do some research on you. So I mean, being a member of the royal family, you can't just, like, imprison Diana, and if she doesn't have any charges, like, that's not going to make the family look any better. But then you have a situation where her and Prince Charles break up, and now she's just kind of like dead weight. She's talking about the royal family. She's making the power structure look bad, and she's not really, like, a necessity anymore, and I hate to say it that way, but now all of a sudden people are starting to look around. They're just like, hey, this Diana woman, she's a problem, and she's not directly married to the king to be anymore. Like, we got to tell her to shut up, or we're gonna have to handle this. So I think when she started having that affair with the Egyptian dude Faid, and she was photographed on the yacht with him, I think that was pretty much like the final nail in the coffin. And they basically just said, like, we can't have the prince's ex-wife, like going around talking bad about us and then being photographed with her new lover. I mean, these are normal things for human beings to do. Like, I mean, they're not together. I'm just saying, like, because of the circumstances. And so they'd eventually decided, okay, we have to get rid of her. So this kind of stuff happens all the time. I think they tried to do it to Trump. There was all these investigations that didn't really lead anywhere. And now there's, like, a whole new set of investigations that just keep popping up. And they've done this to Malcolm X, where, it's like, shut up. No, you don't shut up. Okay, we're going to, like, charge you with shit. Okay, you still are not going to shut up. Okay, we're going to kill you. And really the point that I want to get to is, what is it that Andrew Tate is saying that is so bad? Like, what, seriously, is like, he's really not a bad guy. Like, when you compare him and the things that he's saying to other people in the world, right? I mean, okay, so what? You don't like some of the stuff he says is, like, a little bit, misogynistic, or he says it in a very aggressive way. Okay, don't watch him. Go watch something else. But to actually want him to be silenced and then removed from public discourse, that's like kind of insane to me. And we're seeing it more and more. And I think there's, like, this part of society that's just like, whoa, well, that's just the way it goes. Like, this is not good for any of us. Just because it's happening to Andrew Tate or some individual, Alex Jones, whoever, I mean, they're different circumstances, but the core fundamental, like, pattern remains the same of silence, legal suit, death, right? And yeah, when there are people like in the Taliban, and you have just, like, real murderers, people who have, like, OJ Simpson has freaking killed his wife and her lover and is walking the streets, has an Instagram, has a Twitter and everything. But, Andrew Tate says sex is shit, and he's getting banned for that, like, just removed. That is really dangerous. And here's the thing. Here's what I really want to get to, right? Ask yourself, what is it that Andrew Tate is saying that is so bad, or that goes against the power structure, that they want him to be silenced, or they need to bring lawsuits against him, or they need to kill him, because you don't just do this. You don't kill somebody for no reason. There has to be a really good reason. And why would somebody, like, we don't exactly know who it is, but let's just ask yourself, why would somebody want the message that Andrew Tate has to be silenced? Is it really, really, truly damaging society so much? Or is it actually having a positive, encouraging effect on young men and young women? Obviously, there's somebody out there who does not want the tenets of traditional masculinity to be around in the future. They don't want that. And I think if you really ask yourself why, and we could do a whole video on this, but I think really what it comes down to is, if you have strong men in a population, it's going to be much harder to control that population. And that's why when the Vikings would come into a village, or any group in history, you would kill the men, and then you take the women and children into your, maybe as slaves, or you might marry them. But you can't have men, disgruntled men walking around that want to kill you because you raided their village. It's the same thing that's going on now, but it's a much wider scale. We are under attack in many ways. Our ideas, our societal norms, our values are constantly being changed and under attack. And if somebody is standing up and saying, no, that's bullshit, it's all like, just calling it out for what it is, that's not good if people are listening to it. All right. It's defeating the propaganda and the messaging from the other side. So I think that's really what it comes down to. Is this isn't about somebody being sexist or somebody saying things in a certain way. He's actually empowering people to be stronger individuals, and in a race to basically, have a population that's more controllable, basically just turn us into kind of consumer drones, that needs to be removed immediately. The emergency meeting, Andrew Tate's fucking everything up. We're trying to make people submissive and just watch Netflix all day and tell themselves that they have like a bunch of mental disorders, not to exercise, don't worry, just, wear the mask, don't worry about it. And he's breaking, there's a reason why the terminology, destroy the matrix that he uses, break through the matrix, because it is essentially a matrix. It's a matrix. It's an idea of thinking. It's a world that we're living in that is not truly real, that is trying to be created or pushed upon us. And it's going to result in a lot more unhappy marriages. It's going to result in weaker men, which then leads to unhappy women, right? And you have a chain effect. So I think that's what's happening right now. And, he's up against some very powerful forces. So it's our responsibility. It's, anybody who wants to stand up for truth, it's your responsibility and my responsibility to make a video. I don't have the biggest YouTube following. I could give a fuck if YouTube bans this video or whatever, but I have to say something because, he's innocent until proven guilty. And it sure seems like a coincidence that all of a sudden, after he was banned just about a month ago or a couple months ago, now all of a sudden this case comes up, and it's just like, it's too coincidental, man. So with that, I will wrap it up. I don't want to make too long of a video. And Andrew, I hope you're doing good. You're a smart guy. And I know that you saw this coming, so I hope that you have a plan or of some sort to kind of handle this until it passes over. But until then, I will absolutely share my opinion and speak the truth. So, all right, that's it. I'm gonna wrap it up.